Morning, Bumblebees, and happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing really well today. Huge well done for your work yesterday. You all worked incredibly hard finding the shapes around your house and creating them with lots of different creative ways of doing it. I saw children that were using pasta and some that were using cardboard strips. So you did such a brilliant job with the shapes that you made. So we're going to move on today and we're going to start by ordering and comparing a range of numbers to 100. So I have scattered my numbers all over the board. So just have a look at these 5 numbers and see if you can notice anything that's the same about those numbers and anything that might be different about those numbers. So pause the video now, have a chat with somebody at home, and then come back and see if you have got it correct. Okay, welcome back, Bumblebees. So let's have a look at some of these numbers. So we're just going to move them around a little bit to look at them. So first of all, I'm going to look at the number 75 and I'm going to move it to the number 73 because both of these numbers have a 7 in the tens column. Okay, so they've both got a 7 in the tens column, but their units column is slightly different. Okay, however, 65 has got the same number in the units column. So we've got 65 and 75, which means that the value of the units is exactly the same. Then we've got 34, which isn't really the same as any of the numbers that we've got so far. And we've got the number 19. Again, not really similar or different to any of the numbers that we have seen so far. So when we are ordering and comparing numbers, we need to look at both digits. Now, by a digit, I mean the digits in the number here. So you've got a 1 and a 9. So we've got 1 10 and 9 ones. Here, we've got 3 10s and 4 ones. So I'm just going to place these numbers back in a line. So I'm just going to put them along here in a line because we're going to now use our jottings to help us. So we're going to draw each shape using our tens and ones. So here we've 1 10 and 9 ones. Okay, here we've got 6 tens, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 5 ones. Here we've got 3 10s, 10, 20, 30 and 4 ones. Here we've got 7 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and 5 ones. And here we've got 7 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and 3 ones. So we're going to have a look at the jottings to work out which number is the smallest out of all of these numbers that we have got here. So when we look at the 10 value, we know that this one is 1 10, this one is 6 10s, this one is 3 10s, this one is 7 10s, and this one is 7 10s. So I know that 75 and 73 are very close to each other. But the smallest number of 10s on my board is actually the 19. So we're going to have a go at moving the 19 and placing it in position so that we can order our numbers. So I'm going to select all of it and move it up because I know that 19 is the smallest number when I am ordering and comparing them. So I now need to look at my next digit. So I've got 65 with 6 10s and 5 units, 34 with 3 10s and 4 units, 75 with 7 10s and 5 units, and 73 with 7 10s and 3 units. So out of all of those numbers, I know that the next number along in my sequence and my ordering is 34 because of the number of 10s and units that I have got. So going off that then, we need to find the next number. So is it going to be 65, 75 or 73? Well, I know that 65 is less than 73 and 75. So I know that 65 must be the next number in my sequence here. So I'm going to put 65 in. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because so far we've had 1 10, 3 10s and 6 10s. which have made it quite easy to put them in order. However, we've now got two numbers with 7 tens. So I just need to work out whether 75 is bigger or smaller than 73. So I know that 3 is less than 5. So therefore, the next number in my sequence must be 73. And my final number in the sequence must be 75. Now I'm going to have to move 75 first because otherwise my 73 won't fit in. So we'll pop 73 in there, and then that shows that I have ordered my numbers all in the correct order. So I've got 19, 34, 65, 73 and 75. So using this method with your jottings to help you as a visual, I would like you to pause the video now and have a go at ordering and comparing these numbers. So you've 3 questions to do with each of those numbers in them. Draw your jottings underneath and then place each one in the correct position. Have fun, and I will see how you get on with it. Okay, welcome back, Bumblebees. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of space with these numbers. So if I just return down another step, it will give me just a tiny bit more space to put them in order. Right, so if I've drawn my tens on units, I will know the smallest number here in this sequence is 12. I know my next one is 23 because there's only 2 tens in 23. I know my next one, now this is where it gets tricky again because you've got 5 tens and 5 tens. So I then just need to work out which is bigger and smaller. So I know that 56 comes before 58. So therefore I know that 56 is the next number in my sequence, and 58 is the next number after that in my sequence. And finally 67 is my final number in the sequence. So well done if you've managed to get that one correct. Let's have a look at the next one. So we have got 45, 54, 23, 32 and 17. So the first number in my tricky sequence here, I have got 17 because there's only 1 10 in 17. So that takes that one out. One thing you can do, Bumblebees, that I haven't mentioned so far is every time you use a number, if you cross it off, it might make it easier to whittle it down to the ones that you need. So I now need to look. So I've got 45, 54, 23 and 32. So which one is the next number in my sequence? Thinking about my tens number, and I know that that must be 23. So that goes next in my sequence. And then using the same rule, it means that 32 must be next in my sequence. So I'm just going to pause there, and I'm going to use my pen again to cross off 23 and 32. Because then I don't need to look at them. I don't even need to worry about them, okay, because I know I've already used them. So going back to my numbers that I've got left, I need to now look at the value of the tens column. So here we've got 4 tens and here we've got 5 tens. So I know that 4 tens is less than 5 tens. So 45 must come next. And finally, the number 54. So well done if you've managed to get those correct. Okay, the final one we're going to look at this morning. Let's see if you have managed to get it correct. So these ones are, we've got 97, 63, 82, 91 and 31. So I know straight away if I'm looking at my tens column, I have 2 tens that are the same, 97 and 91. So I need to bear that in mind later. But I have got 60, 80 and 30. So I know 30 is the smallest number in that sequence. So 31 comes first. Remember, again, if you want to, cross it off, you know you've used it. Okay, then have a go and look for the next number in the sequence. Now, there's quite a big jump from 31 to the next number because it is actually 63. So 63 comes next in the sequence. So we've used 63. What comes next? So I'm going to cross 63 off just so that I know I've used it and I don't have to worry about it. Okay, the next number in my sequence, well, I know I've got 90 and 90 and 80 here, so I'm going to use my 82 first because I think that number is the one that comes next. And then I've got 2 90s, so is it 91 next or 97? Huge well done if you said 91. because that is in fact the next number, and 97 is the largest number in this sequence. So well done if you have done that correctly. Okay, moving on for the rest of today's lesson, we're going to identify lines of symmetry in shapes. Now, unusually, I would normally continue teaching you on this video clip, but I would really appreciate it if you could stop this video clip now, head to the school website and click on the video link for the BBC clip about symmetry. And when you click on it, it looks like this. So this is the page that you are looking for, and you need to watch this video that's only 3 minutes long. Okay, just watch the video to get some information and then come back to the video that I am talking to you on, and we will do some work. Okay, welcome back, Bumblebees. So I hope you found that video really useful. I just thought it was a little bit different, and also you didn't have to listen to me talking about symmetry. So we're going to go on to have a look at patterns of symmetry, and I have drawn on here just 2 lines of symmetry, but there's no symmetrical pattern. So I'm going to need some help from yourselves to create that symmetrical pattern. Now, as we know from the video and from the information that they have just shared with you, whatever you do on one side of the mirror line, you have to do on the other side. So this big black line here is my mirror that I am going to reflect or use as my line of symmetry. So if I colour, for example, this square in here, then I will be expected to colour the square on the other side as well, because whatever we do in one side of the mirror, we reflect on the other side. So I'm just going to quickly colour in the red on this side, because you can now see that it is reflected. It's exactly the same. Okay, we're going to have another go. So this time I'm going to put a green square, but my green square with an orange centre is going to go here. Now this one is 1 square away from the mirror line. So I've jumped 1 square and then I've drawn my shape. So I need to do exactly the same on the other side. I need to jump 1 square, then draw my shape. So that means it's reflected perfectly. I'm going to change my colour this time. So this time I'm going to go for a purple colour, and I'm going to go on the corner of the shape. So I'm going to go here. So this time, instead of just jumping 1 square away from my mirror line, I've in fact jumped 2. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2. I'll just take that one off because my mouse decided it wanted to do something strange then. 1, 2. So I need to do the same here. 1, 2, and then colour in my shape. So you can see now, if I was to fold my piece of paper down my mirror line here, then you would see that it is a true reflection of all of the shapes. Okay, we'll have another go at this, so don't worry. So this time I'm going to show it you in a horizontal mirror line. So a horizontal mirror line goes across the page instead of up and down. So for this one, I'm going to just draw a yellow square here. Okay, I'm then going to draw a blue square above it here. I'm then going to draw a green square just below the blue square. And then finally, I'm going to draw a red square just above the green square up here. Now, I've used a little bit of a pattern here, but I haven't yet reflected it in the mirror line. So that means that I'm going to show you exactly what it should look like in the mirror line. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to draw my yellow shape, but I'm going to draw it here. Oh, ended up with a red outline. That's definitely not symmetrical now. Let's pop a yellow outline. So I'm going to draw it here. And then I'm going to get my blue shape, and I'm going to draw my blue shape here. And then I'm going to get my green shape, and I'm going to draw my green shape here. And finally, you've guessed it, I'm going to draw my red shape here. Now, there is something wrong with my shape. There is something that I have done totally incorrect with my shape here in comparison to my shape here. So remember, when we looked at it in the vertical mirror line, we counted the number of squares away to make sure it was exactly the same. So here we have got, let me make my pen smaller, otherwise it's going to be huge. We have got 1, 2, and my square is in number 3. And it's the same on this side, 1, 2, and my shape is in square number 3. Now, I have made a bit of a mistake here because instead of reflecting the whole of this shape, I have in fact copied it. So I have copied where my yellow goes and where my blue goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up to the top of my page, and I'm going to show you what a reflection should look like. This is where it's copied, whereas I want you to do it so that it is reflected. So I'm just going to draw quickly my mirror line here, which you can still see is the same size mirror line. And then I'm going to copy my shapes to make sure that I put them in the right place this time. So if the yellow is on the mirror line, then my yellow also needs to touch the mirror line. Okay. If my blue is not touching the mirror line and is 1 square away, my other blue one needs to not touch the mirror line. It needs to be 1 square away. Okay, let's do the same with the green. So we'll put the green on. So the green goes here. Where do you think my other green, where do you think my other green needs to go? If you said next to the mirror line, you would be absolutely right. Well done. And finally, I need to look at my red. So let me just copy my red. We'll put the red in place. So does my red go next to the mirror line, or does my red go above? It definitely goes above, 1 square away. So I'm going to put it here, 1 square away. So can you see the difference in my picture? My yellow and my green are touching each other in my reflection, and my blue and my red are not touching each other because it has been reflected. Okay, we will do this one more time with a vertical line. So I'm going to put my vertical line in here. Okay, and we're going to add some colour to it. So let me just select some squares, in which I'm going to copy and bring over here. So let's have a look. This time I'm going to put yellow and blue. Again, I'm not doing the reflection just yet. I'm just building my picture. And then I'm going to put green and I'm going to put red. And let's have another yellow. So we'll put another yellow one in there. Okay. Right, so your job now is going to be to reflect this picture. Remember, we're not copying. If we were copying, then our green would end up here. And it's not touching the mirror line, if you can see. The green should be 2 squares away. So let's count 1, 2. So it should be 2 squares away and should be over there. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you come to make your reflections. Oh, I don't need another blue one. This time I need a red one. So let's copy the red and place it on the other side of the mirror line. And then I need some yellows. So let's get the yellow. Yellow goes next to the red and touching the green, and the same on the other side. So you can see it is reflected. It is not copied. Okay, so have some fun. Have a go at making some symmetrical patterns. Have a go at creating these patterns so that you can see the reflections. Be as creative as you want, add as many colours as you want. I've only used 4 colours, you could use as many as you want to, and make them huge patterns. You could even fill a whole page in your maths book if you use the grid to help you. So have fun, send them through to me, I can't wait to see these. Take care, everyone.